You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Welcome back to I Am Refocused Radio. Once again, we are here today, and we have another special guest. Today, we're talking to the one and only Sue Liebel. She is the Director of State Affairs for Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life America. And with decades of experience in policy development, lobbying, and political strategy, Sue leads the effort to advance pro-life legislation and protections at the state level across the country. We have a lot of news, a lot of updates coming up right now. So I just want to cut to the chase and get her to the show because we only got 25 minutes. First and foremost, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. It's great to be back on your show. Appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. There's a lot of things going on with Meldon abortion pills. There's a big story that's going on with the case with Rosalie Marquette. Mm-hmm. And that's an interesting story where she was coerced into taking a pill against her will in 2023 by her boyfriend. And that's very interesting because there is a big exchange online on Twitter with Louisiana and Gavin Newsom. He dropped the F-bomb.
Right.
So kind of catches up what's been going on because even Congress having a closed door meeting, what was it, like days ago, like 9 months ago, literally days ago with Marty McCary, kind of catches up on all the breaking news that's going on right now.
I sure will. And it's a little complicated. Let me see if I can lay this out, just a little background. When the FDA approved the abortion drug mifepristone in the year 2000, they put a black box warning on it. They made prescribers get special training. Women have to sign it. It has a lot of complications. It has a lot more side effects and complications than a surgical abortion. But under President Obama in 2016, they weakened some of those safety and health regulations. And then under President Biden in 2021, and due to COVID, the FDA removed the requirement that a woman would have to get these drugs in person, or visit a doctor, rule out pre-existing conditions, rule out certain things, and make sure it's safe and for her. Certainly not for the baby, but for women. Because of COVID, then the FDA allowed these pills to be mailed. And that's when Pandora's box flew wide open and the pills started coming in a brown paper bag into women's mailboxes. States, then Roe versus Wade was overturned, right? And so states had a lot more latitude in the laws that they could pass to regulate abortion. And so many states said that it was illegal to mail pills into our state. Some states limited abortion altogether. Some states limited abortion to the heartbeat time. Some states have 12 weeks, but many states said if she's going to get the pills, it has to be in person to get a medical exam. Okay. Well, what happened is that doctors in New York and California, arguably very pro-choice, abortion states, have been caught mailing the pills into women in Louisiana, Texas, and other states where it's not legal. So these doctors in California and New York are breaking the law in the states, where the women live. And then California, you mentioned Governor Newsom, California even passed, and so have some other states, what we call shield laws. So if the doctor is in California mailing pills into Louisiana, in this case, that's Rosalie's unfortunate case, the state of California passed a law that they will shield that doctor from prosecution, shield that doctor from accountability. So if and they won't extradite that doctor, they won't help Louisiana enforce its law because that's illegal. and they can't go after the doctor because of what we call the shield laws. And that's exactly what Gavin Newsom was referring to when he said that bad word. And the state of Louisiana has sued the doctor in California and is trying to get justice for the woman. For Rosalie, had a terrible experience. And actually, she was a victim of this newer crime that we're seeing all over the place now. It's popping up everywhere, where abusive partners, husbands, boyfriends, even sex traffickers are giving these women the pills against their will, putting it in their drink. One man in Ohio crammed him down her throat while she was sleeping. There's a new crime popping up everywhere now, unfortunately, called coercion. And so this the Biden era policy that lets them go through the mail has caused all of these unintended consequences. And the more liberal states like California, New York, and elsewhere are protecting the doctors. And that does not allow that woman to get justice.
According to the FDA.gov website, the FDA, as of February 2026, says that they will continue to work on the collection of robust and timely data that is necessary for a well-controlled study with adequate statistical power. And I have that for our audience. They can see the website. Is that something that is interesting to you, or is this a different game?
So during Trump's first term, the pills were not able to be mailed. It was the Biden era that allowed that. And now that Trump is back, we have been asking the White House and the FDA to reinstate the former policy. COVID is over, and all kinds of problems are happening. From a study standpoint, I mentioned that those pills were approved in the year 2000. We are 26 years later. We've had 26 years of experience, and there's a lot of new data out there, peer-reviewed studies, medical journal articles and things of studying the impact of these pills. That's true in other countries. A lot of these studies are coming out of Finland and other countries. Yeah, England started a project to mail pills. They called it pills by post, and they stopped it. The health commissioner there recommended to Parliament that they stop the project because of the coercion that was happening and so many ambulance runs. Because like I said, the complication rate, the FDA's own label, that little piece of paper that's in your prescriptions, it's real thin and has all the science on it and you don't read it, that label has a black box warning on this drug, mifepristone. And its own labels studies say 1 in 25 women will end up in the emergency room. So we know by default, these pills are much more dangerous than a surgical abortion. And now they're almost 65% of all abortions being done in America today are by these pills. Emergency room visits are going way up. Women get sicker faster on the drugs. Pardon me. And so when Trump was reelected and Secretary Kennedy was appointed, Dr. McCary was appointed, we've been asking them to review the science because we have so much more science today. They've been dragging their feet on that. What's happened in the meantime is that Louisiana, in this case, has sued the FDA. The state of Louisiana and Rosalie herself, on behalf of Rosalie, sued the FDA. 21 different state attorneys general have signed on and sent a brief in that case. 3 other states have a different lawsuit against the FDA. Florida and Texas both are suing doctors from out of state that have mailed them in. It's just, and more every day almost, we hear a new case, a new example of a woman that was abused, with the drugs. And so we implore the administration to stop the mail order rule, stop allowing them to go through the mail, take them off the market altogether. Please. So much has gone wrong here, but at least take them out of the mail while the study is going on until we know more, till the FDA updates its knowledge from 25 years of experience, because it's out there. All that science is out there. They're just way behind the times. So much, they've been dragging their feet so much so that Congress, you mentioned members of Congress had a closed door meeting. Some members of Congress are trying to see what can they do from the legislative branch, if you will. What can their role be to force the administration to put a hold on this, to look at the new science?
Once again, listen on Refocused Radio and watching us online, talking to our guest today, Sue Lebo. She is the director of state affairs for Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life America. You go to their website, sbaprolife.org. I want to show on the screen the tweet from Newsom, because this is interesting. Let me get the right one. Here we go. So what we're looking at here is his response to Louisiana, and his choice of words. Do you think it helps build their case or hurt their case?
I think it sounds a little desperate, actually, when you have to resort to those kinds of words or treat another, a colleague or elected official that way. I think sounds very desperate. Sooner or later, these cases are going to have to keep going up the courts to federal court, maybe to the Supreme Court. On any other thing, a criminal, a robber, a murderer, or something that goes across state lines, those states help, if they catch that person, they help get them back to their state where the crime was committed. They help the justice system, extradite the criminal or whatnot. It's been going on for all of time. And now, but with abortion, they won't do it. And so this is going to have to work itself out. Now, I want to read you her response to this tweet. And she said, "Bless your heart, at Gavin Newsom. Killing Louisiana babies is not health care, nor is shielding California drug dealers. The sovereign state of Louisiana will defend life and defend its laws." So it's really becoming on this issue, lawlessness and a total disrespect for other states. The Supreme, when Roe versus Wade was overturned, the Dobbs decision said back to the states can decide. These states have decided, Louisiana has decided, but California and New York and these other blue states that have the shield laws don't respect the rule of law in those other states. Now, I would like to add one more thing. It's not just back to the states. That case did not exactly say that. As you can see, there's a federal role. Still, the FDA decisions are federal. Remember the one big beautiful bill that defunded Medicaid dollars for abortion? That's federal. There's still a federal role. And thank goodness the members of Congress are trying to figure out how to push the administration into looking at the newer science and doing something about this.
What percentage of Americans oppose allowing the abortion pill to be sent through the mail without an in-person doctor's visit?
That's a great question. In fact, there was a poll just late last year. 7 in 10 voters, and some of these are pro-choice. This isn't just a pro-life poll. This is an everybody poll. 7 in 10 people agree that she should have an in-person doctor visit. With these drugs, they're not supposed to be used after 10 weeks. As the baby gets larger after 10 weeks, the complications for the mother just skyrocket the further in pregnancy you go. And so the mother's more at risk. And the FDA didn't even approve them for after that. You also have to rule out an ectopic pregnancy where the baby is stuck in the wrong place. The pills will have a life-threatening effect for her. There's some medical stuff going on here, kidney issues and the stuff that my doctor does and your doctor does when we take medications and make sure they don't interact and things like that. And so the idea that a woman would get some sort of medical screening before she ingests this very dangerous drug is approved by 7 out of 10 voters. But yet the administration, we think, is worried about the midterms, worried about abortion as an issue, a political issue, and we are pleading. Ironically, we're the pro-life side of the coin, and we're pleading for some medical supervision and FDA research on behalf of the lives and the health of these women, and of course, all the unborn children that are killed by the drug.
And also, what percentage of abortions in the United States are chemical versus compared to surgical?
About 65% now. The majority of abortions in the United States, 65% are from the pills.
Wow.
There's also a healthy undermarket. I don't know what word to use, but some bad actors have just set up websites and are selling pills. And, you don't know what you're getting. These aren't all getting them from a doctor. They're getting them from sites. And, we know one couple where the father of the baby said, how do we even know what's in these drugs? They're coming from, who knows where they come from? And so it's just the Wild West now. And unfortunately, we have an administration that's dragging its feet, and that's not what they need to do on behalf of these women's health and safety.
Even though FDA.gov is showing some warnings of some possible side effects, with, I guess you could say, some transparency there, how still is there's still some complications that can possibly lead to the emergency room for a woman within 30 days after taking the abortion pill?
1 in 25 women. That's an extremely high percentage. They are not as safe as Tylenol, like the abortion industry likes to say. They're very dangerous. The complications, 1 in 25. That's on the FDA's own label. And then what you were citing actually is a study that says if she does end up in the emergency room within 30 days, it is usually coded as severe. She's really in trouble within, the later that goes and when they code that. And so that's what's telling the tale are the complications in the emergency room reporting. We're calling this a public health crisis now. This has really gone on and with so many unintended consequences, so many complications that women are getting hurt. Of course, all of the babies are dying, but hospitals are seeing it's telling the tale.
How robust do you believe that the FDA.gov is really involved with collecting data? Because it seems that the data is partial, or am I wrong?
No, you are not wrong, actually. In America, collecting abortion data used to be, like if she goes into shock or septic or something, but it's always been, unfortunately, voluntary. So some states don't collect any data at all. Many states do. And again, when the Biden administration relaxed that rule and allowed the pills to be mailed, they also said, don't even report data to us unless she dies. So now the FDA only wants deaths. They don't want significant complications that require further surgery or significant enough to hurt her future fertility, take her fertility away. Kidney issues, I think I mentioned that earlier. There are a lot of surgical intervention, there are a lot of other outcomes besides death that impact a woman for her future. And of course, you don't hear the FDA talking about that much at all. But many states do require inside the state to be reported. And that's how researchers get the data that we do have from states that require their emergency rooms to report, and as well as medical journals and things like that, including in other countries that have that don't have the political aspect to abortion that we do. So in other states, in other countries, they are really truly interested in the research medically. They want to know how this is working or not working. Unfortunately, we have a much more fragmented system in America, and it's, we have got to move past that.
Going back to Rosalie and her story in that case, do you agree with Christian Wagner of Alliance Defending Freedom, who stated, just to be clear, this California doctor shipped high-risk drugs across state lines at the request of a man who coerced his girlfriend to a unwanted abortion? I miss the days when governors knew drug trafficking isn't healthcare and the F-bomb isn't dialogue.
Yes, I agree with every word she said. It is not healthcare. It's a procedure. No one's getting healthier here. It terminates the life of a child, and that's what abortion is, and that's what we need to call it. In Louisiana, they have a second case where the girl was 15. She was pregnant. She wanted to keep the baby. She was actually getting ready for her gender reveal party, and her mother ordered the pills and forced her to take them. And they have criminally charged the mother for that, because that's not legal in Louisiana. We're just hearing stories from all over the country now, where women are being victimized by abusers or husbands or parents or someone else who doesn't want that baby. And she's being traumatized because of it. So add that to the list, not to mention the medical complications that she can have on her body, her surgeries that might be required to repair this. It's just to have all of this without the FDA oversight that it should be, that it started out with. Nothing's really changed. Women are still women, and Mifeprex is still Mifeprex. So we've got to turn the attention of the FDA back toward this.
Is it possible that there is now a loophole for people to misuse mailing abortion pills and forcing certain women to carry this through that feel like they actually want a different choice?
Absolutely. In fact, the Charlotte Lozier Institute has done a study of over 1,000 women who said that about 60% of them said that they felt coerced to abort. This is nothing new now. Sometimes the parents don't want that baby in the home, or sometimes the boyfriend doesn't want it, or whatever. Someone's pressuring her not to have the baby. But if one person had come alongside her and said, you know what, we got this. You can do it. I will walk with you through this. I'll help you find the services you need. Maybe you put the baby up for adoption. There are couples waiting. There are waiting lists of people that want to adopt. Or if you keep it, I'll help you be successful. You can do this. If the study showed that 60% of women said they felt some sort of coercion or pressure and had someone come alongside of them, if they knew they had some resources and some help, they would have not done it. And that's exactly what's happening here.
Once again, listen, I'll be focused already watching us online, talking to our guest today, Sue Liebel. Go to their website. It's simple. It's sbaprolife.org, and that's sbaprolife.org. In the last couple minutes we had left, what will you say for those who are tuning in and they feel like, man, we keep playing ping pong with this topic where everyone's emotionally high off of their opinion? What will you say for some common sense?
Thank you. I would like to say first of all, this is not an easy topic to talk about, to listen to. It's emotionally charged. I would hope that no matter what side of the fence people are on, everyone would agree that women should not be victimized, and that whatever happens, they should have the same safeguards should apply to the abortion industry that apply in our modern medical marketplace when you and I go to the doctor. In fact, in some of those states where the ballot question, that the people vote on it, and it gets in the constitution of that state, the legislature then goes ahead and just starts to remove all of the safeguards. The abortion industry lobbies to not have to play by the rules, and it's just not right, and it's not safe for women. I also want to let people know that there's a special website called abortiondrugfacts.org. Abortiondrugfacts.org. And some of the studies and the research that I was talking about today are all on that website. And so, don't take my word for it. Go do some research. Look into it, study it, find out if this is correct. And by all means, whatever side of the issue we're on, let's all come alongside a woman who finds herself in need of help and support and resources. And let's get in our communities and support women to be successful in raising their families.
And let's exchange a more calm dialogue. And with that being said, we are talking to our guest, Sue Liebel, the Director of State Affairs for Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life America. Go to the website. It's sbaprolife.org, sbaprolife.org. Like always, Sue, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.